It's 9 o'clock and you're listening to CHMA 106.9 FM in Sackville, New Brunswick.
And now it's time for your CHMA News. We're broadcasting from Sackville, New Brunswick, the heart of the Maritimes and the traditional and unceded lands of the Mi'kmaq people. Coming up in the next 15 minutes, we'll have your local news, Atlantic update, weather, sports update, and some community announcements. And thanks for tuning in, folks. It is Thursday. We'll have a new local story for you tomorrow from Clinton Davis. For today, we have some local briefs as compiled by our community mentor and editor, Katie Tower. And I'll also remind you to visit chmafm.com and visit our archives, either our on-demand section, or you can read the articles online. The most recent articles are local community grant requests outpace budget as demand rises, and that was an article that Clinton submitted yesterday. And on Monday, Black History Month underway at Mount Allison with campus events and student organizing. That was Monday's story. And also on Monday, Twee Lee, our community media intern, put together a list of events and things happening around the community. And you can check that out and more by visiting chmafm.com and on our front page, and there's more if you click on Community News. As for the local briefs, let's get things started. Sackville native Heather Smith was recently awarded the 2025 Ashram National Coaching Award. Smith, who now makes her home in Nova Scotia, was selected for the honor by other coaches at the New Holland Canadian Under-20 event in Summerside, who were asked to choose an opposing team coach who best exemplifies the attributes of coaching. Smith, who has herself won 4 national curling championships, 17 provincial championships, and competed in the Scotties Tournament of Hearts 6 times, won a bronze medal in 2012 and is currently coaching Team Regan of the Mayflower Curling Club in Timberlea, Nova Scotia. Team Regan brought home a third-place finish at the recent Women's Provincial Curling Championship. Smith will also be inducted into the New Brunswick Sports Hall of Fame in 2026. And as tensions in America are rising, local organizations and residents are starting to look for ways to support the cause and raise awareness for the turmoil that is happening in the States, most recently in Minneapolis. Cafe Tintamar is hosting a hat knitting night this Thursday evening in support of ICE protests in the U.S. The event will bring people together to knit melt the ice hats inspired by the red pointed hats with a tassel made and worn by Norwegians in the 1940s as a visual protest against the Nazi occupation. The Melt the Ice hats have recently become a symbol of solidarity against the actions of ICE and have raised significant funds for local organizations supporting immigrants. The event is beginner-friendly, but limited materials will be available, so bring your own red yarn and knitting needles if you can. People can download the Melt the Ice Hats pattern from Ravelry if they'd like to donate to the Minneapolis nonprofits. The event is held tonight, Thursday, February the 5th, from 6 to 8 p.m. at the Tantramar Visitor Information Center. And EOS Eco Energy is teaming up with several local community partners to bring a full lineup to its annual Climate Change and Renewable Energy Week. That's CARE Week. Starting next weekend, EOS is partnering with local community members Emily McBride to host a free canning workshop. That's this weekend, Saturday, February 7th at Open Sky Cooperative from 1 to 3:30 p.m. Participants will gain hands-on experience with hot water bath canning and make vegetable pickles and a fruit jam, covering all the tips, tricks, and safety precautions for how to make your own preserves at home. Registration is required and spots are limited. On Monday, February the 9th, EOS will be partner up with Mount Allison's Geography and Environmental Society to host a free clothing swap here at Tweedy Hall in the Student Center, 62 York Street, at from 11 a.m. till 3 p.m. Donations can be brought to the EOS office at 43D Main Street in advance of the swap or brought directly to the swap. Care Week will also feature a free solar education workshop in conjunction with Woody Thomas of Fundy Solar and Zach Wheeler of Wheeler Electric on Tuesday, February 10th from 12 to 2 p.m. at the Tantramar Civic Center. The workshop will include a presentation, time for questions, and an optional visit to a local home that has solar panels installed. The week will finish off with a virtual webinar on Friday, February 13th from 12 to 1 p.m. that will provide an overview of do-it-yourself ways to reduce your home's flood risk. This year's Care Week also coincides with joint solar energy campaign between EOS and Beauséjour Renewable Energy. That's BRE Cooperative. Stay tuned for more. For more information on the events, you can visit eosecoenergy.com. And that's some local briefs for you. Let's move into the Atlantic update. More than 160 police officers have launched a series of raids in Quebec and New Brunswick, allegedly targeting a Hells Angels cocaine distribution network. A news release from the Quebec Provincial Police say the raids were conducted by an integrated unit specializing in organized crime. It says the organization targeted an alleged cocaine network as well as a system to control territory to the benefit of Hells Angels biker gangs chapters in Quebec. Provincial police say the raids began early this morning across unidentified municipalities in the two provinces and that an update on the case will be provided in the next few days. And police in Miramichi have revealed that 2 men were arrested in connection with the overdose death of a woman at a local motel in early January. In a release, investigators say first responders encountered the deceased woman on January 7th after responding to a medical crisis call. The local criminal investigation division became involved after it was learned that controlled substances had been removed from the scene and placed in another room within the motel. After executing a search warrant, officers arrested 2 males and seized a significant quantity of controlled substances. An RCMP say a youth in New Brunswick has been arrested and is under strict conditions under the authority of a terrorism peace bond. Police say the terrorism peace bond is the first of its kind in New Brunswick's history. Mounties say the youth was arrested and charged for the facilitation of a terrorist activity. They say the case is part of a broader trend police have observed in New Brunswick involving youth radicalization and extremism that happens in online spaces. And a former Nova Scotia healthcare executive has been sentenced to 9 months in jail for defrauding a Halifax hospital of more than $30,000 by using her corporate credit card to pay for personal expenses. Judge Rhoda Vanderhook says Tracy Kitch's sentence should serve as a message to public officials that committing fraud will result in a jail cell door locking behind offenders. During a sentencing hearing earlier this month, Kitch admitted that she had failed to properly prioritize oversight of expense claims that she filed with the IWK Health Centre, the largest children's hospital east of Montreal. Her conviction in September marked the second time she was convicted of defrauding the hospital, where she served as a CEO between 2014 and 2017. And a state of emergency is over in southeastern Newfoundland after a ferocious winter storm left a road nearly impassable. The town council declared a state of emergency yesterday in Trepassey after high seas destroyed much of the breakwater along the road. The route to a remote part of the town was left covered in rocks and debris, and emergency vehicles could not get through. A winter storm swept through eastern Newfoundland earlier this week, driving coastal storm surge and dumping more than 40 centimeters of snow on St. John's. And finally, Nova Scotia's premier says he's reached an agreement that could see electricity from a proposed offshore wind project shift to Massachusetts. Premier Tim Houston and Governor Maria Haley say they reached a memorandum of understanding, committing the two governments to work together on developing their respective offshore wind sectors. Houston first floated his province's Wind West project over the summer, and the $60 billion first phase is estimated to produce 5 gigawatts of power by 2033. Houston says the agreement with Massachusetts is a signal that a clean energy market is maturing, which should give investors more confidence in Nova Scotia's emerging offshore wind industry. And those are some Atlantic updates from around the region for you. Let's find out about the weather this morning. It was quite a nice day coming in here. It's currently observed as -4 with the wind chill feeling like it's -6 outside. For today, you can expect a mix of sun and cloud with a 60% chance of flurries early this morning, 30% chance of flurries this afternoon, wind becoming northwest 20 kilometers an hour, high of -5, wind chill -13 this morning, -8 this afternoon. Tonight, mainly cloudy with a 30% chance of flurries this evening, clearing overnight with the wind northwest 20 becoming light this evening, low of -16, wind chill -10 this evening and -20 overnight. Sunny, increased cloudiness late in the morning on Friday, February the 6th, wind up to 15 kilometers an hour and a high of -8. Wind chill -19 this morning and -11 in the afternoon. For Friday night, cloudy with a low of -12. For Saturday, February the 7th, cloudy with a high of -5. Saturday night, cloudy with a 30% chance of flurries and a low of -11. Sunday, February the 8th, cloudy with a 60% chance of flurries, a high of -9. For Sunday night, cloudy periods, low of -19. For Monday, the 9th of February, a mix of sun and cloud, high of -11. For Monday night, cloudy periods with a low of -14. Mix of sun and cloud coming in on Tuesday. High of -6. Cloudy with a 30% chance of flurries and a low of -7 on Tuesday night. And cloudy again with another 30% chance of flurries on Wednesday, February the 11th, with a high of -3. There you go. That is some weather for you. And here's Diego with a quick segment, and I will get you your CHMA Sports Update.
Hola, yo soy Diego y estás escuchando CHMA 106.9 desde Sackville, New Brunswick.
Hey, this is Eleanor from Marshview Middle School, and you're listening to CHMA.
And this is Brian Nielsen with your CHMA Sports Update.
7 games in the NBA last night, including the New York Knicks surviving in double overtime against the Denver Chicken Nuggets. 134-127 victory there. Raptors lose at home by a fourth quarter comeback by the Minnesota Timberwolves. 128-126 final there for the squad from Minnesota. Celtics with the 21-point victory over the Houston Rockets, 114-93. Bucks in overtime with a 141-137 victory over the New Orleans Pelicans. Spurs over the Thunder by 10, 116-106. Grizzlies with the 127-125 victory over the Sacramento Kings and the California Capital. And finally, it was the Cleveland Cavaliers with the 33-point victory over the Los Angeles Clippers after the two teams traded guards earlier in the day. Darius Garland going for James Harden. In the NHL yesterday, a few games before the Olympic break, saw the Florida Panthers defeat the Boston Bruins in a shootout at home in Sunrise. Columbus shuts out Chicago 4-0. It was a 4-goal margin of victory for the Montreal Canadiens as they defeat the Winnipeg Jets in downtown Winnipeg 5-1. Overtime saw the Minnesota Wild defeat the Nashville Predators on the road 6-5 final there. Avalanche double up the Sharks in Denver 4-2 victory in that one for the former Nordiques franchise. Utah Mammoth with a 4-1 victory over the Detroit Red Wings. 1-goal game in Dallas saw the Stars beat the St. Louis Blues 5-4. 1 goal again in Calgary. Saddle Dome saw the Battle of Alberta decided by the Flames. 4-3 final there. Canucks lose on the road in Nevada. Vegas Golden Knights with a 5-2 victory over Vancouver. And finally, it was the Seattle Kraken doubling up the Los Angeles Kings 4-2 final there on the road for the Kraken. Of course, the Town and Gown game coming up tonight at 6:30 at the Tenchmore Veterans Memorial Civic Center. Puck drop 6:30. Bring your donation for the food bank, and that's the only hockey we're going to have today because the Canada-Finland women's hockey game was postponed this morning after Finnish players fall ill with norovirus.
Thanks very much for the sports update, Brian Nielsen. And you can catch that, of course, weekdays and 8:30 a.m. And as we always say, Brian hosts the Monday morning show starting up 7:30 till I join him at 8:30 for the sports update and take over the mic until 9:30 as I am doing right now. It is currently 9:13. You're listening to 106.9 FM CHMA, the voice of the marshes. And right after the sports update, we get into some community updates. And we just had a new one that came in regarding the Winterfest and the firemen's... I'm just trying to find it again. The firemen's breakfast that happens every year has been postponed till next year. Well, we could just say that it has been canceled because that's what what's it said. And I am, as it is, I had it and I'm looking for it again. Firemen's breakfast has been canceled. The Sackville Firefighters Association has had to make the difficult and unfortunate decision to cancel this year's Fireman's Breakfast. They hope to be back in 2027. So a lot of people look forward to that, and it is very unfortunate, but they'll try again next year to make that happen. There was another cancellation for a public skate yesterday, but not for today. So just a reminder that the public skates do happen, and they are a wonderful way to break up your day. And that's over at the Veterans Memorial Civic Center. That cancellation was for yesterday, for Wednesday. Also, on Monday, Mayor Andrew Black formally proclaimed February as Black History Month in Tantramar, and that's a wonderful thing to do, to make it official. This month is an opportunity to honor the resilience, achievements, and contributions of Black Canadians and to continue learning, listening, and reflecting beyond February. And if you want to find out more about Black History Month here in Canada, you can visit canada.ca, and they have a lot more information there. The municipality is also reminding you that they are a wetland city. We are a wetland city. That makes us a wetland radio station. And the wetland photo contest finalists have submitted their entries for the photo contest, and you can judge them until February the 9th if you visit a link that is available at tantramarnb.com. Find your favorite photos and then let them know which one is the best. There was a committee of the whole meeting last Monday, and that is available on YouTube if you want to check it out. There's a great article from Clinton regarding the community grants that came through or are proposed, are presented, and we'll see if they get passed. You can find more about that at chmafm.com. And there is a regular council meeting coming up this Tuesday, next week, at 7 p.m. and that is also available on YouTube if you can't make it. We are now going to swing over to community events over at chmafm.com and check out what is going down very quickly. We have Nocturnal Variations. I saw the social media promotions of it, of the first night last night on the old phone there, and it looks mesmerizing. You should really check it out. If you're interested in theater, this is going to be a good one. It's a puppet cabaret by Ian McFarlane, and that runs from yesterday, Wednesday the 4th, until February the 7th over at the Moiter Fancy Theatre at the Purdy Crawford Center for the Arts. Tickets are $5. Yeah, check that out. Coming up tonight, Sackville Film Society, Bob Trevino Likes It. That will be over at the Amherst Theatre. Winterfest starts up tonight with the Town versus Gown hockey game, and there'll be fireworks tomorrow night after the magic show and gathering at Bill Johnstone Park. The gathering starts at about 7 and fireworks at 8, and there is a long list of wonderful things that are happening that you should check out in the Winterfest brochure. Music and Munchies coming down at the Open Sky Co-op over at 12 Falcons Drive tomorrow from 5 till 7 with some music and treats if you're looking to shake off those winter blues. Canning Workshop by EOS Eco Energy on Saturday over at Open Sky Co-op. There is at Brunton Auditorium a collection of music in support of local autism programs. That's at 7:30, Saturday, February the 7th at the music department. There is a Winterfest Dorchester guided trail walk on Sunday, February the 8th, as part of the Winterfest activities. This is part of the Moving Forward Trails Committee. They'll be meeting at 11 a.m. on Sunday, February the 8th. The walk is family friendly and will be followed by a bonfire with marshmallows, hot dogs, and hot chocolates. Participants are invited to meet at 8 Station Road in Dorchester at 11 a.m. on Sunday. All are welcome. Make Something Sunday is up as part of the Winterfest as well. This week they'll be doing Valentine Gift Jam. That's making small animated looping cards. Using colorful cards and scissors at animation stations to bring Valentine's Day's ideas to life. Yeah, there you go. Hope you're feeling very informed right now at 9:18 in the morning. Let's hear from a couple of other PSAs created by the CHMA staff, move out of the news segment of the late morning show and into some music.
On Saturday, February 7 at 7:30 p.m., Brunton Auditorium at 134 Main Street, Sackville hosts a collection of music, a fundraiser concert for Autism Nova Scotia, Cumberland County. The evening will bring together a variety of performances under one roof to raise money and awareness in support of local autism program and family. Admission is by donation at the door, and everyone is invited to come, enjoy the music, and give what they can.
Hey folks, if you're looking for something to do on Wednesday evenings, Backtown Trivia is now back with its winter series. The doors open at 5 p.m. and trivia kicks off at 7 p.m. every Wednesday night. So do not miss out and head down with your friends to the Backdown Brewing Company.
And that was your CHMA news. Please visit www.chmafm.com for more news and to sign up for our email newsletter. Funding is provided by our monthly sustainers, the Community Radio Fund of Canada, and the Municipality of Tantjamar's Community Development Grant. If you have a story idea or would like to include an announcement, please write us at news@chmafm.com. All right. It is 9:20 in the morning. I've been your host, James Anderson. We're going to keep things going. We're going to have... let's check out. We got some new ads to the rotation that we're quite excited about. We got some new Luka Kaplowski coming out of Toronto, some City in Color, some Joffrey, Ariel Susi, Jaguar Sun, Heidi Vincent, and Saint Amand, all Canadian, all new. That's what we like to do here at the Voice of the Marshes. And let's check out just quickly what we have for non-Canadian updates. We got some new tracks from, which prophet should be in the Canadian one? Whoa. That's the afternoon. Sorry. That is the afternoon Canadian. So in the afternoon, there's new Witch Prophet, and there's some new pornographers, some new Nisa, big favorite. A new favorite, Cootie Catcher. We got a track called Puzzle Pop that'll be coming up this afternoon. And yeah, so much more. The East Pointers, new track from the East Pointers, yep. And some more from Young Gov, who's been doing a lot. That is Ben from F'd Up that has been changing his name around. Now he's going by GUV all caps and put out like a half dozen great tunes this past fall. Let's just double check and see if I can find what's up for the afternoon rotations. Here we are. Got some Jill Scott, some Headaches, Morgan, the Olympians, which I've really been enjoying. That's a new find for me. Didn't know those folks before. Some Zoki, which I really like, the track What You Want, and some Endearments with a Real Deal. So that is some non-Canadian afternoon music. On the non-Canadian morning, we've added some Cutworm, some Diana Open, some Mira. There's an artist. Mira. I don't think anybody else was at that show that's here right now. I think the only other person who was at that show was Dennis Amos. And maybe, not too many of them. It's Mira played back in the late 90s, 98 maybe, 99 when I was in school. Might have even been 97 because I remember being quite early. But played with Phil Evram from the Microphones down at the Old Duckies, which is now called Chirps. That was the hotspot for music in the 90s. But Mira played one of those memorable, beautiful shows. And Phil was opening for Mira at that time. And they were on K Records. And they just played at a night. There weren't that many people there, as were apt in those days for shows. But some shows were quite wild. But Mira played, and I was just doing the dig, looking for some new tunes, and saw that Mira had released a new track called After the Rain, and I just had this wonderful memory of that show that should be a little piece of history because it was quite beautiful. And of course, Phil Evram of the Microphones, having become quite famous, and even we had the privilege of hosting Phil with Julie at our last Stereophonic. Maybe not the last one, but the last one that occurred. I can't say that it won't happen again, but that was back in 2020. Julie and Phil, and I brought it up with Phil. I mentioned that show, and he was... he had some lovely memories of that as well, and had kind of forgotten about it, but was very grateful to be reminded. And I don't think he realized that was Sackville, because he has been back here quite a few times to play some other shows. That was a beautiful show. So we're going to play... let's just play that Mira track right now. Why not? There's no one here at the station to stop me from doing this right now. So let's just do that. And we'll continue on with some Daisy Cutter with Uri, and some Greg Keemer and Jimmy James. Not myself. It's another Jimmy James with the track Go here on the Voice of the Marshes.
not gonna make it to the sea. I'll just stay here in the flatlands, 'cause it's good